Hello everyone, Rare Model Reviews here, and today we have, in my opinion, what may go down as history as my best unboxing here. So this one's actually wide open, so we're just gonna go ahead and get straight onto it with this one. So I'm gonna actually try to make these unboxings a little bit more quiet than usual. So I'm gonna really try to stop talking when I feel that I'm making a lot of noise. So bear with me here, and just wait a second if again you just hear a lot of ruffling but no talking. So here we go. Also, I'm going to be a little, I'm going to do this unboxing a little more differently than before, as there are some really cool kits in here that like I kind of want to be a little more secretive with. So I'm going to try to close this a little bit as I move this. So again, bear with me. All right, and I'm just going to move this down. So give me a second. Clear some room for this thing. This is the big boy. So as you guys already seen, we have the Narrative Gundam Apex here. So this was actually a suit, I guess I'll say, that I didn't really pay too much attention to when the movie first came out. I like kind of completely forgot about this thing. And when I watched over the Narrative Gundam movie again, I actually became like enamored with this thing because first of all, this thing is kind of like the successor to the Orchis or Dendrobium Unit 3 thing that kind of combines with the Stamen. So again, I just like patiently waited. Well, actually it wasn't even that long of a wait for this thing to show back up in the stores, and I went ahead and picked it up. Okay, hindsight, what I might start doing is maybe mounting my quote-unquote camera on a tripod when I like have to two-hand open something up, because I know you guys just seeing nothing right there. But moving on here. So we have our first plate here. So we have like some yellows, it's kind of like a grayish off-white here, and then navy blue. It looks like for the core fighter. I forget. Yeah, this thing has a core fighter. That's right, it does. So I'm guessing this thing's gonna have a core fighter. Thought maybe there's only the C packs with those. If I'm not mistaken, it did eject from the suit at the end of the movie. But we're gonna see if this thing indeed does have a core fighter when this thing comes out. Whoa, Nelly! I haven't seen this many stickers on a kit in a long time, so this is gonna be fun. So I already know the ones on the bottom right are for the Gundam itself, but I'm gonna assume this all goes everywhere on this thing. So those, of course, are the little blue pawns or whatever those usually are. Some more yellows. This looks more like a white. It's not that grayish off-white. So I'm gonna assume the grayish off-white is for the actual Apex itself. And just taking a look at this thing, this is gonna have a stand, which makes sense because this is a mobile armor. This thing's not gonna be able to stand by itself. So if I'm not mistaken, these are like these little clear stands for the arms that are used to try to tether the Phoenix with in the movie. Some more whites and grays there. So we have some red here and some grays, actual grays. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume most of that's probably for the Apex. See the little red part listed is probably for the cockpit. Some more grays, actually it's like polycaps. Every time I think they're done using polycaps, some kit always comes along that uses them. And this is interesting. It has a little bit of an inner frame here. And we have the last few pieces here, some huge beam sabers. So I'm gonna assume that's for the Apex. And of course, we have the menu here. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, put everything back inside. then we're gonna close this out by looking at the menu. So let's go ahead and move this for a second. All right, so let's get down to it. So what I usually do here is just kind of take a little look at the wording there, so you guys can pause that and look at what that says. So we're gonna kind of skim through the menu here, see what we got going on. So of course it's just your parts and manifest, along with some instructions for you to know the proper way to assemble a model kit. So this thing actually starts off with you building the Gundam itself, step by step. It's a high grade, so not too complicated, even with all the advancements they've made with these things. And then we're gonna go on ahead and build the Apex, which I don't think is gonna be too crazy to build. It is a mobile armor, but Apex isn't enormous compared to something, again, like the Dendrobium or, well, I don't even think the Cycle Gundam was honestly that big of a crazy build. Meteor might have been a crazy build. I haven't seen a review on that thing in a minute, so I don't remember how crazy it looked from the instructions and whatnot. So this one might be a bit more of a complicated one. We'll see when I actually build this thing and see how assembling it into the Apex is like. So this thing is too complicated. I'm not sure if I'll be able to review this thing until I change my setup, so I'll be able to edit it down, me combining parts and whatnot. That's kind of one of the reasons why I have the Penelope, but I've never reviewed it yet. I've shut it off here and there. But I might bring it back out when, or should I say, if I can review this thing. So, time will tell. So one thing I also wanted to note is, strangely, Bandai has never made the narrative Gundam in any sort of 1/100 form. One more page, I'm pretty sure. So that's one of the main reasons why I just went ahead and picked this thing up. I wanted to be patient, wait for a master grade or something, but honestly, like I said, I don't think they're ever going to make a master grade of a lot of these kits, especially with the master grade line being a shell of its former self. You don't see nearly as many releases as you used to. Speaking of Gen, I don't remember seeing any actual beam sabers for this thing. It looks like it only has the mobile army beam sabers, so that's interesting. All right, so there's one more kit in there, but hold on. I do have my tripod here, so I'm gonna mount my tripod real quick, and then I'm gonna go sort that out. Bear with me for a second. In the meantime, I'm gonna bust out the kit I'm about to unbox, so you guys kind of take a look at that while I sort this out. Okay, so I got the next kit I'm gonna unbox out, and I will scoot that thing straight over, because again, I'm doing this unboxing a little different because I don't want you guys to see what else I have yet. Maybe you might have took a glimpse at something when I wasn't paying attention, but yeah. So of course, as you saw, we have the Gundam Phyract from Witch of Mercury. So this is a suit that, as soon as I seen reviews of and all that, it seems like they kind of spoiled a lot of the suits by putting out the kits themselves before the actual episode showed out and all that. Really sucks what happened to this guy in the shop, by the way. I'm not gonna spoil it in case some of you guys didn't see it yet. But so I thought the concept of the suit was really cool. It's like a sniper Gundam, but instead of transforming, it has funnels, or bits, I should say. And honestly, just by looking at it, I thought this thing could transform, but I guess they said we have enough transformable sniper suits, so they decided not to go ahead with that idea. So, not many stickers there, which I like to see. Got some grays here. Just a little bit of yellow. Kind of that same off-white gray color as the Apex there, green beam sabers. Another interesting thing I wanted to mention. The Aerial is supposed to have green beams, but just about every single version of this thing I've seen for the Aerial, it always has blue beam sabers, which I like more, honestly, but I just find it interesting. So this is, speaking of interesting things that they've done here, they give you the description of the suit from the, or in the pilot, straight on the cover of the manual here. And again, this is my first Witch of Mercury kit, by the way. I have not built one of these yet, and so far I'm impressed. Everything's in color here. Instruction manual is very small. Not many plates, actually, I wanted to mention. This looks like 6, technically 7 if you want to count the beam saber ones. And they get straight on to building this thing right away. You just have the little how-to guide right there. Look at that. The head's assembled in 3 easy steps. The body follows suit. Very quick build, so jeesh. As I always say with these unboxings of mine, okay, lose the color on the inside of it. But if there's any kits that you seen from the unboxings here that you like, and you want to see a review of ASAP, post in the comments. Let me know. Don't be shy. I don't bite. We have a pretty small community here, so you don't have to worry about anyone being toxic or anything. I haven't really seen any toxic comments yet. Some spam, sure, but again, don't be shy to just post a comment and tell me, hey, that Farak looks pretty cool. Can you review that thing? You tell me you want to see a review of it, that moves it up my 3 pile high of model kits I have, so I can build that thing and then get that review out. Because again, I have a big pile of kits in my backlog, so if you guys don't show any interest to any particular kit, I mostly try to go in order. If I get something I'm personally really excited to have gotten, I kind of cheat and move it up the line. It's usually P Bandai stuff I've gotten, but as you can see here, I'm getting some more modern kits when I do shop at the Gundam store. And like I said, in just a moment after I unbox the C-packs, you guys are gonna see that I'm not playing around here. So you definitely want to start speaking up if you want some of the cooler kits I have in store. So as I said, here we go. Get the C-packs here now. So this thing was basically a Unicorn Gundam Light here. It looks almost exactly like it, but kind of unfinished. Although I was never clear if it kind of had this unfinished look because it was damaged during a fight with the Phoenix, or if it was supposed to look like a scarecrow, as they said in the movie. This thing's having some real hard times focusing. I didn't bring my ring light out for this one. I'm in my bedroom right now with the shades open, my lamp on. It looked all right from when I first started. Probably be a little brighter, honestly. I mean, I do have my ring light sitting right next to me. So I'll probably actually honestly turn this on, see if it helps improve the lighting just a smidge. Give me a second. There we go. Hopefully that's not too bright now. There we go. I have it right here, might as well turn it on. It's too bright, turn it down or off. I think this does look a little bit better. So next time if I do decide to do unboxing in here, I probably will just turn it on. All right, so we have plenty of cycle frame going here. It's that same grayish off-white color. So again, Action Gray is here, that same off-whitish gray. I'm like going back and forth whether it's white or like a gray or off-white. Like, this is a typical navy blue you've seen with a lot of the UC90s kits. I'm pretty sure that blue is going to be for the Core Fighter. So they're probably both, the A and the C-packs have the Core Fighter. Who knows? Maybe they're shared some parts, and one of them doesn't tell you how to make the Core Fighter, but you have enough parts to make them both. We shall soon see. So again, I'll pause this here if you want to look at that. And then get straight inside here with the C-packs. So we have a nice colored guide on how to finish the assembly here. So interesting that you have the later half of this thing, or how it's built, I should say. Sure, as you open it, and you have to kind of open it again to get the real bread and butter of this thing. All right. So again, pretty simple construction here. Nothing too complicated. Bang this thing out even faster than Apex, especially since this thing doesn't have any mobile armor. It's just the suit itself. So, flip this over to the actual back of the instructions here. Again, pause that there if you want to see this. So, for some of you may not know, I do have the Phoenix. It's in real grade form because the high grade one, I don't ever see that thing available. And actually, no, that's not true. I think I see that thing in the store not too long ago. But the high grade, from what I've seen with reviews, is pretty bad. So I actually passed up on that one. I am not going to get the high grade ever, but I do have the real grade. And one of the reasons why I got the real grade instead of the master grade is because, as you've seen it, I have a high grade narrative now. And honestly, I don't want to have a master grade Phoenix and a high grade narrative. So I kind of wanted to keep them the same scale because I didn't have anything really bad about the Phoenix. It's just, you know, the typical unicorn recolor. So as you see here, we have a nice little sticker, the stray red frame in the box, and voila, like I said, we have something really good here. So this is the full mechanics Gundam Aerial. Will we ever see a master grade Gundam Aerial? It's up to Bandai. Get this box out of the way. So this is actually something I had pre-ordered a while ago, and I actually pre-ordered at the same time as both narrative kits. I am cheap though, so I opted to have them hold off on delivering me those two kits until this thing releases. As again, I would have had to pay, I think, an extra $10 to have them shipped separately. So I'm that cheap. I could have had this thing unboxed a while ago. But and you can see here, this thing's looking pretty darn good. And honestly, from my experience with the full mechanics I've built, which is actually only one, but that thing was basically a master grade with, I guess you'd say, some compromises. So, the full mechanics line, honestly, in my opinion, is Bandai's way of still making 1-to-100 kits, but cheaper. And thus, it's not as much as a loss if the kit doesn't perform as well or what have you. And I'm going to say it now. I predict in the future, we're going to see 2, if not 3, full mechanics next year. So you can quote me on that one. I think that they're going to kind of cut down the master grade line and only do like Verka and some of the MGEXs, you know, 1 a year of those. And then again, they're going to kind of just replace the default master grade line with the full mechanics here. You'll maybe see some P Bandai stuff released, but that's about it. So we have this amazing red frame here, which is one of the big gimmicks of this thing. As you see that the last runner, didn't mention it, there was like a sticker style decal, so there's a lot of those too. So this thing mostly has, oh no, I'll take that back. This one has 2 plates in it. It's probably a duplicate plate. That's why I kept these 2 the same bag. But yeah, everything else is just like 1 plate, 2 little small tiny stuff. So we got that amazing effect there for the beam rifle, which I just love. I just love the fact that not only does this thing have kits, but also they could combine all over the suit itself for various reasons. So that is just like so cool. So originally when I seen the Aerial, I was kind of mad on the design. To me, it kind of just looked like a more feminine version of the Barbatos, but when I seen the whole gun bits thing, especially in action, from finally watching the show, I fell in love with this thing. So I can tell you right now, I immediately, well, no, that's not true. Actually, I ordered this thing before I even seen the show. I had faith it's Gundam. There's like no bad Gundam shows. Well, maybe there's one, but I'm not going to say what I think it is. I'm not here to cause any ruckus. So we have the little parts manifest and the instruction to how to here. And well, I guess it is instructions on what steps you'll be taking to make what. So this is interesting that they make you build the arms first. It's usually the head they start off with, or head or body, those kind of switch. So I'm going to be looking at some limbs and the torso before I finally build the head and throw it on there. Because a lot of people like to say that the head of the Ariel looks like a, I'm sorry, the chest of the Ariel looks like a head. See how backwards you can be with this thing, because how confusing its body is. But I also have this little thing here showing off the gimmicks of the kit here, which is going to be that there's like kind of some pistons and stuff moving inside the legs. Again, very cool. So overall, with the full mechanics, one of the cool things about it is, again, since it doesn't have real inner frames and whatnot to it, the build of these things aren't too complicated. They're a step more complicated than a high grade, but not so much so that, again, it's going to take forever to build these things. So depending on how much patience you have and skill, you can probably knock this thing out in a day. However, if you're like me, you're probably going to take a break, build some here or there, maybe take you 3 days, depending on whether you pick back up later on that day, whereas I usually stop building for the day and pick it up another day. So, as you can see here, this thing does do the bit on, so you can scatter bits around its body, as well as, of course, collapse them into the shield or just completely separate them. And for those of you who've seen one of my more recent unboxings, you know that I got the display sets for the bits. So when I do review this thing, it's going to double as a review for the bits on. Same for the Ferract, as both of those will show off the bits displays. So I can pull this off right here. It even tells you have to use this sold separately with your Mercury display base there. And it's probably advertising how you see the show or something. But I didn't mention it, but we've had the little description of the pilot and its mobile suit there. So, again, I think I skimped over good enough where you should be able to kind of go back and there we go. I don't know why I've been struggling in this video to put the box on properly. You can go back over there and check out the blanking here. Check out the stats on this kit and whatnot. So, last but not least, well, actually, this is least, but no, it's not least, but it is last. We have what I think is the most exciting thing of this unboxing, which you guys probably are all going to be going, ooh, an hour. That is going to be the Verka Zeta Gundam. Yeah, speak of transformable snipers, huh? So this is one that I actually kind of went on a bit of a roller coaster to get. I was too late to pre-order this thing on the USA Gundam store because I was on a fence on whether I originally wanted to buy this thing. Because spoilers, it does not have the high Mega Rifle, which is the big giant blue rifle used here and there in the show. And I was kind of upset about that, so I was kind of thinking maybe I should just hold off and get the 2.0 because I really want that Mega Rifle. It's my favorite weapon in all of Gundam because this is huge and overkill. But after this starts showing off what this thing can do and why the Verka line is arguably the best Gundam line out there, I said, you know what, I'll take a chance and get it. And I've already seen a review of this thing, so I already know it's pretty incredible. But I didn't need a review to know that. That demonstration sold me on it. So I'm praying that they do some sort of P-Bandai additional set or something for this thing. Maybe even throw some stuff on for the Double Zeta, convert that into the Fast, just to justify having a little option set. So I really want that Mega Rifle. But as you see, we have a giant plate of white parts here with some gray parts behind it. And some more gray parts here, beam saber thrown in there in the back. So this is one thing I didn't expect. They actually added some silver pieces on. So those are going to be scattered out all throughout this kit. A very cool touch. Have that there for the back of the Wave Rider there. A little turtle shell, I call it. Some dark blue pieces here. Oh my gosh, man. I'm already saying it right now. If people don't start speaking up in the comments, I might have to build this Zeta Gunner. I don't know. I'm on the fence about this thing. It's going to probably be a minute. Now, technically, only built one, well, technically 3, I guess, Verkog kits. Those all being the Unicorn Gundam, although technically it's not a Verkog kit. I still call it one because it's the Verkog Unicorn Gundam, but they slightly changed it for the anime release of or re-release for it in Massacre form. But again, it was originally the Verkog kit. It just changed some things. So this would technically be my second unique Verkog kit I've built, but my first with the actual title of Verkog. I do have another Verkog kit, that being the V2 Gundam. It's getting up to it's time to be built in the queue, but I have not built it yet. I actually love how they put constructor and the kind of electronics there. It's almost as if, you know, you're engineering yourself, reading the manual on how to assemble this thing or something. So that's a nice little touch there. And a nice little shot of the Zeta Gundam. This is a thick manual, by the way. I haven't looked at that Victory Gundam manual in a minute, but yeah, this thing feels like a freaking book, or comic book at least. It's pretty thick here. So we of course have some stuff here displaying tech on the Zeta Gundam and all that. Some nice little poses as well. You can also see some little parts and whatnot. Like, I love the way that looks there for the wave rating. So for those of you who griped on any version of the Zeta Gundam that's not a poser, I think this thing is going to knock your socks off. This thing looks like it can do a lot. Slap on an action base and get this thing airborne, and the sky's not the limit for the Zeta Gundam. You gotta get into outer space to finally see some limits there. And of course, we have the instructions on how to build this thing. It's telling you how to properly, of course, cut the pieces there. It's mentioning undergating because this thing's gonna have a lot of undergating, I imagine. Make sure that there's no bad nubs or marks or anything like that when you're assembling this thing. And again, this is a Verkog kit, so these things are expert level. Do not attempt to build a Verkog unless you've got some experience under your belt, at least with a Massacre or 2. So these things are no joke. So I have built, like I said, like the Unicorn Gundam 3 times over. And I can't recall any having issues with the first one I built. Well, of course, it's the ones afterwards. There are some parts that are a little annoying, but one thing that really makes Verkog kits very challenging, at least from what I hear, is they tend to use extremely small pieces like this one here. And then you have to put them into little spots, and sometimes you kind of have to hold them in while you put another piece on, etc. So that makes them pretty tricky to build. So you have to be very careful not to drop anything into the abyss, because that'll ruin your build, at least until you find it, hopefully. So, I don't think this one has 3.0 hands. I want to say it just does the bracket hands. I'm looking at the instructions for the hands here. I'm seeing just bracket stuff, but that's not a big deal. I don't mind the bracket hands so much anymore. I was raging when they first started doing the bracket hands because I did not like having to interchange parts. I like rarely ever used the other interchangeable hands. When they did have them, I'd usually just use the 3-1 and the thumb hands and throw the old closed fist and open hands into my shoebox there to never be seen of again. But over the years, I'm starting to see that, you know, maybe this is why they went to the bracket hands. When you see stuff like the oh, I like that. It's telling you, hey, you don't need this runner anymore. Throw the E2 runner away. So that's actually pretty cool. And so we of course have kind of like an interview with Kadoki here, talking about you know, the process of making the Zeta Gundam and all that. So this is all in Japanese at the top, and then the translations are on the bottom there. So hopefully I got a good enough look of that so you guys can read that later on. That's interesting. They did an interview right in the middle of the build. But like I said before, I kind of interrupted myself. Geesh, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But yeah, would you say you have kind of the 2.0 kits? The 2.0 kits is what I feel like kind of led to the bracket hands thing. A lot of those pegs in the hands are horrible. Some of the big offenders for that one, I'm going to go ahead and say, are the Turn A Gundam and the Zaku's to an extent. the pegs in those things' hands are pretty bad to the point they could never hold their weapons. And the Turner especially, I'm gonna shame, because if you just look at the pegs and the weapons, they don't even match in size. It's just like, oh, did you guys reuse this hand from something else and just kind of make it look more like the Turner's hands? Because this peg is way smaller than the weapons here. Like, this would have never fit. So that's something I grabbed on that thing when I reviewed it. Check that out if you're interested. So you see a lot of trash bin signs by the time you get to the back of this build here. As slowly but surely, more and more plates are going to be discarded. Then you of course have the transformation. So another transformable kit I'm gonna kind of crap on here is going to be the Delta Plus, which transformed very similar to the Zeta Gundam, but I feel like they did something wrong with that transformation, because that thing is way more complicated to transform than it should have. I think I maybe transformed that thing twice ever in my life, not counting me transforming it back to Mobile Suit mode, which honestly I probably should have kept it in Wave Rider form forever, because that thing was a pain in the butt to transform. Honestly, I might have even broken up a few parts of that thing trying to transform it, because it was just so complicated. Stuff was falling off, and me trying to put them back on. I think I put them back on wrong, because I couldn't tell the thing's butt from its head. So don't ever expect to see a review of that thing. I might bring it out maybe to look at it for the Zeta Gundam, but that thing can barely even stand up, so I don't even know. We'll see. Like, I technically have a high-grade version of the Zeta Gundam, but that thing was one of the first kits I ever built, so that thing, again, can't even stand up. This is such bad shape. And so the only thing I, in concrete, be able to stand this thing up with is the Mark II. That thing, its joints loosened up over time a lot faster than I thought they would, but I think I might be able to get to stand up. And nice little pilot figure for Camille here. I think one of them is supposed to be him in a cockpit. The other one's him standing up. So that's going to be it. It looks like a little end credit scene here in the way that looks, but it's suiting, as that is the last kit here of my unboxing. And as I usually do, we bring everything back out for you guys to kind of look at. As I said before, I kind of didn't throw all the boxes in one mass. I was kind of rushing to get these things out of the frame so I can move on with this thing. So I got one more to throw over here. And as my ending closing comments here always go again, if you want to see any of these things, I know I said it a lot, but I want to kind of get this into you guys' heads here, these unboxings here. Tell me in the comments what you want to see, and I will prioritize that to build. If enough of you actually start saying stuff, then I can kind of start doing a little tally system. Okay, we got, let's say, 3 people that said they want to see the Zeta. I'll build that, whereas only 2 said Ariel, none said narrative, you know, etc., etc. Because again, I'm tempted to just bang out the Farak just because how quick this thing looks like it'll be. And I'm kind of going back and forth on whether I want to do the Ariel or the Zeta Gundam, mainly because the Ariel looks like it'll be a little quicker than the Zeta Gundam. The Zeta Gundam looks like it's going to be a mission. So how much I want to get this thing built, I know that thing's going to take me a while to build. It'll take a lot of discipline for me to bang that thing out. And I usually don't build stuff except on my days off, but on occasion, I build things on my work days, and I really want to build it and get a review of it out ASAP. I also wanted to mention, if you guys haven't noticed, I've been posting 2 videos a week now. I feel like having my weekly video just being unboxing is a little anticlimactic, so I started a new system where I will unbox typically something on a Monday through Wednesday, depending on what's going on in my real life. And then I'll do a review around like Friday, Saturday. So depending on when a package comes, like if a package comes a little late or whatever, I will end up switching things around. Maybe I'll do an unboxing like on Friday or Saturday, and then again I'll do a review Monday through Wednesday, depending on what's going on. But that's typically the schedule I want to keep. So hopefully, with me having so many kits, if I could bang them out fast enough and not go through my little drought, like when I was building the Banshee Norn, where it was my 3rd time building a unicorn kit. I wasn't motivated to build it, and it was a little tedious to build. despite the fact I built the thing 3 times. So I kind of was dragging my feet building that thing, and as a result, I got to a little wall where I didn't have really anything to review. So I kind of started digging through my collection. I reviewed some of my Unit 1s, which I ended up not recommending, just so I could have a review out. So I don't think that'll happen because I already have like a dozen stuff on my backlog to review that have been built or unboxed or what have you, and are just waiting for me to get around to it. So for the foreseeable future, like I said, we'll be doing double videos for the week. So I feel like I've gone on long enough here. I've reached around my 30-minute mark, which I usually try not to even hit. So in conclusion, guys, this has been Rare Model Reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next actual review. Hopefully, it'll be one of these guys soon. Take care.